James chapter 1 verses 13 to 15. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust, and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it brings forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, brings forth death. What is James telling us? First, I think it important to understand the term drawn away used by James. In the Greek the term is exelko. It is a term used for hunting, as luring your prey out. So James immediately paints a picture of sin as a hunter, and we are its prey. This seems to be the same analogy God himself used in Genesis when describing sin. Sin lies at your door, and its desire is to have you. Genesis chapter 4 verse 7. So we can logically reason that sin is a force. It hunts us as prey, luring us out, setting snares and traps, just like a hunter who uses salt licks to draw out a deer. Sin will use what entices you to lure you out for capture. Once you are out in the open, you are fair game, and no matter how strong you are, no matter how prepared you are, when you leave the provided cover of Christ you will fall. Now here is where it is important to understand sin as described in the Bible. Sin is not merely a spontaneous act, but the result of a process. Look back to Genesis again for the example the Holy Spirit gave us in the garden. First, the serpent had to create a thought, a fascination. Second, he creates the form of sin that entices and tempts. Thirdly, we rebel and perform the act. This is why Jesus said, sin starts in the heart. It is when we allow the fascination to take hold in our mind we have already lost. This is why we are warned to guard our thoughts and to keep our hearts. For it is our heart and mind that will lead us astray. And many of us fill up on the world's entertainment, subtly allowing the world to govern our ideology, instead of allowing the Holy Spirit to have free reign in our thoughts. We instead try to give him what is left over. God is not the God of leftovers. He wants all of you, or none of you. Jesus said, the eye was the window of the soul. If the light we are supplying is darkness, how great is that darkness? The devil has an agenda to kill and destroy. But we far too often give the devil too much credit. It is us that are giving the power to sin by what we allow into our minds and homes, allowing the television to bring that Hollywood trash in. Folks, we need to stop. We need to live every moment as though Jesus was right beside us, watching what we watch, listening to what we listen to, and having the conversations we are having with our friends outside of the church. Because guess what? Even though you cannot see him, he is right there. And Jesus says that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. That's Matthew chapter 12 verses 36 to 37 for reference. How can our speech be pure, our hearts be pure, when our mind is clouded with this world's morality? How can we say we love God when our minds do not understand the concept of love? Biblical love is absolute surrender, full sacrifice, total commitment. How can we say we love God and not give up this world? We can't. 1 John chapter 2 verse 15 says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. We are either in love with God, or we love this world. It is that simple. You cannot have both. You're all in, or all out. To overcome sin, we must guard our hearts from sin in all its forms. Run to Jesus, and stay close to him. Because when we draw near to Jesus, the devil flees. Then we can have victory over sin.